channel. Before we get into this one regarding the latest transfer news for Aston Villa, if you could like the stream, subscribe if you're new around here, and also drop your comments and thoughts on what we're going to discuss today and some of the players that Aston Villa have been linked with over the last few days within the transfer window. Well, it's been manic at Villa recently. There have been so many deals that have been undertaken. Potentially Ross Barkley coming in soon. We've got Berenacher and Samuel Hillings Jr. coming in with the Douglas Luiz swap deal and Douglas Luiz leaving. We've also got Ian Matson coming in as well, which is a huge signing, and also Lewis Dobbin, who was officially announced and has also joined the club from Everton with Tim Iwegbunam going the other way. But there's more links, and David Ornstein released today a statement stating that Villa have fulfilled the requirements for PSR. They're now above the supposed limit that they're required to achieve regarding their transfer dealings before the June the 30th deadline. So now Villa are free to operate however they want, within their means for sure, but after the 1st of July, it should get very interesting. Now, as I always say, Monchi, I feel like, operates in this. He does overhauls with squads. And I can see there being so many more incomings and outgoings over the next month or two regarding Aston Villa. We know Unai Emery likes to get a settled squad in early, so I think I can see a number of signings happening after all the ones officially get announced this week, which we all know about, and then further signings coming in. And let's get into them, because we start with a potential right back, someone who's been quoted as in Italy's future right back, and that is Michael Kayode from Fiorentina. Now, Michael Kayode is 19. He had a full season, kind of a breakout season at Fiorentina last year, playing making 26 appearances for Fiorentina. And yeah, he has been described as being Italy's future right back. We've seen recently fullbacks coming from Italy into the Premier League with Destiny Udogie. Destiny Udogie came from Udinese to Spurs at the age of 19. He went back on loan to Udinese for a year and then came back to Spurs last season and was a revelation. And Michael Kayode is kind of in the same bracket, same tier. They see him as being the next superstar in terms of Italian fullbacks, and they look for him. They're looking at him and Destiny Udogie to be the left back and right back for Italy's future. So Michael Kayode then, it's kind of been said that he's more of a defensive right back and full back in general in terms of his positioning. He does like to get forward as well, though, but his main attributes are his defensive capabilities, his interceptions, his tackling. There's clips of him playing against Cavacia from Napoli, and he defended him out of the game, absolutely boxed him out of the game. He's a quality 1v1 defender in that right back position. So, as we know, Ian Maxson's come in. We know how Villa are going to look to operate. They're going to use that left-hand side. Emery loves playing off that left-hand side and use that as the attacking shape. And the right back to maybe come inside, playing a bit closer, especially with Boubacar Kamara being out, and Kamara used to drop into that right back position, right centre back position. But with that being the case, we like a more defensive profile. Now, Konza was the player who stepped up and went into that right back position and was more of a right-sided centre back when we were playing in an attacking phase. And we can see Michael Kayode has all the attributes to be that sort of player for Aston Villa. It was reported, saying that Villa have had a €15 million bid rejected for the player. Potentially, we'll go back in for him. It seems that Fiorentina want €20 million, just over that, for the sale to be complete. So yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. A great link, and if you're a Football Manager player, you know about Michael Kayode because he goes on to be an absolute superstar in the game. But yeah, also he came through the Juventus Academy. Now, he might not have been the same time period as Samuel Hillings Jr. and Enzo Berenacher did, but they'll have that relationship, they'll have that bond if he was to come into the club. Obviously, being Italian, Villa don't have any Italians. Nico Zaniolo's come back out on loan, so he could have that bond with those Juve players that have come in as well, as they've all come through the same system. And obviously, our relationship in Italy seems to be very good, as the Juventus relationship showed with this Douglas Luiz deal and Monchi operating within that. Villa kind of, moving the pieces and working with Juve to get the right player after Weston McKennie wasn't accepting of the proposals of Juventus to close out his contract. So yeah, great signing if it was to be the case, and yeah, we'll see how that one develops. But moving on, we'll go to a few players who are at the Euros currently now, both 21 years of age as well. And that's German international Maximilian Bayer and Spain international Fermin Lopez. Fermin Lopez got his debut last night. If you watch Spain play, he managed to get on the pitch against Albania. But yeah, we'll start with Maximilian Bayer. Had a fantastic season at Hoffenheim last season, managing 16 goals in 33 appearances within the Bundesliga, which is no mean feat. That's an incredible record to get at the age of 21. Played as kind of a second striker. He was playing alongside Wout Weghorst for Hoffenheim last season and another striker as well. And kind of they played a 3-5-2, and he was kind of playing as a second striker, linking play as well as being direct as well, because he's rapid, he's fast, and he's got quite a build as well to him. He's quite a unit, and in terms of height, he's tall. So him and Wout Weghorst are playing off each other, and obviously Wout Weghorst hasn't really got the legs in that sense to get around the pitch, but Maximilian Bayer is rapid. And with that great season he had for Hoffenheim, he earned himself a call up into the Euro squad for Germany. So what would he offer within Villa? Well, I could see him either playing instead of Watkins if Watkins was required of rest, or playing alongside him as well. He could play that position for sure. He could operate off that right side and link up play, as well as getting him behind. And I think they'd be devastating together. He looks such a good player. And obviously, and he's only 21 years of age. So again, Emery can mould and develop him. And looking at the transfer window and the signings we're making, we're getting young talent in, and we're looking for Unai Emery to develop and mould them in similar state he did with Morgan Rogers. In only a few months of being at the club, he transformed his game from how he played against Luton, because Morgan Rogers was able to gain an understanding of the system and how Unai Emery likes to play and what he requires from Morgan Rogers in his position. And he can do the same for Maximilian Bayer if he was to come into the side. But that would be a great signing for sure. And Hoffenheim are looking. He has a release clause of 30 million euros. So to activate that, is that a lot in this day and age? You know, a 21-year-old German international who scored 16 goals in the Bundesliga, 30 million euros. I think Villa, if they really want him and they're looking to go get him, they'll pursue that deal for sure. So yeah, exciting link again. Some of the links that are coming out now are very exciting players for sure. And another one is Barcelona Academy graduate, Spain international Fermin Lopez, 21-year-old now. We've got two midfield links here. We've got another Spanish player, Spanish international. He's played a few games for Spain. 27-year-old Brais Mendes as well, who plays for Real Sociedad in centre midfield. They both operate from centre midfield, but can play attacking midfield and sometimes operate off the left-hand side as well. Both shooters, man, sharp shooters, love a shot. But yeah, Fermin Lopez had a breakout season. Barca got 8 goals in 31 appearances for Barca. A lot of it, his time did come off the bench, but he was just getting integrated into the side. And he's a player who's good on the ball, bit more attacking in a sense compared to Brais Mendes. Looks to link and create chances for the forward players. But yeah, he could be seen to be playing as a centre midfield in the two. I'm not so sure, but maybe again that second striker role, or coming off the left side, or maybe the right side. In fact, because we're kind of looking for more players off that right side as well. But yeah, that would be another incredible signing. Again, Spanish international, 21-year-old, had some good games for Barcelona for sure in the Champions League as well. With all these players, well, the majority of the players we've been linked with they have great experience at such a young age, and Fermin Lopez has that as well. So that would be an interesting one to see where we'd fit into the picture at Villa. Going back to Brais Mendes, had a great campaign. He's had a great 2 years at Real Sociedad, to be fair. Obviously, they gained Champions League qualification the season before, and then had a decent Champions League campaign last year, albeit getting knocked out in the end to PSG. But he operated in that midfield three with Zubimendi and Mikel Merino, and kind of played in the advanced role of that. Set piece taker, corners, free kicks. He's got the lot, scored a few free kicks as well. Very technical on the ball, and he loves a pop shot, and he's reminiscent, and it reminds me of a Bruno Fernandes type, not just in look but in style as well. So yeah, again, you've seen the Villa links, you've seen the Pedro Goncalves links, you've seen the Alex Baena links. Similar types of players, for sure. Albeit Brais Mendes is a bit more defensive in mind. He's more of a central midfielder rather than an AM, which those two are kind of seen as. But they love to shoot, and they're good on at set pieces and dead ball situations, which Villa will need after Douglas Luiz has departed from the club. So yeah, exciting links, and we'll see how these ones develop. But for sure, there's going to be way more incomings, and obviously outgoings to follow that as well. But great news regarding PSR. Everything's good for this financial year regarding that, so that's great news. Good signings coming in, some very good players who could potentially go on to be great with the potential they do have, and such young profiles, especially Ian Matson. I'm so excited for that signing. And yeah, there's going to be more developments, and I'm just so excited for this window because it's Villa Champions League football has just opened a window of opportunity which we've never really had, and albeit without that opportunity, even just qualifying for Europe, we signed players like Pau Torres and Moussa Diaby last season. So be excited for the window Aston Villa are currently having, and what they're going to have going forward. Again, thanks for joining me. If you could like the stream, that would be much appreciated. Again, subscribe if you're new around here. I think we're 18 off or 17 off 500 subs, so that'd be much appreciated. Try and get to that target and then move on from there. And also drop your comments on these links and these players, and what you think of Villa's transfer strategy, because it seems like we're targeting, except for Ross Barkley, we're targeting young players who Unai Emery can develop, talent that Unai can develop. And I like this model that Villa are doing because they have a sell-on value as well if they were ever to leave. And, you know, their brains are sponges. Unai Emery can tell them the details and they can go on and show that on the pitch. So, yeah, exciting times for sure. Up the Villa as always, and yeah, see you on the next show.